It's time to practice what we learned. Because thus far, over the last modules, we learned a lot about React. We learned a lot about the core features that make up React, and you actually already have enough knowledge to start building your first simple React projects. To specifically practice these super important core concepts we covered thus far, I got a dedicated project for which I want to go with you, which is relatively simple, but which picks up all these core things you gotta know. We're going to build this relatively simple, yet not too simple application here. It's an application where you can add fictional users like Max, you can enter an age, and add a user. Now you won't be able to edit or delete the user, but we got a couple of other nice features which we haven't built thus far, but which we actually will be able to build. For example, if I have my empty inputs here and I click on add user, you see I get this warning dialog, this warning overlay here, which we can dismiss by clicking on OK or by clicking on the backdrop. You will also see that if I enter, let's say, a negative age here, I get a different error message. So we got a little bit of a more complex validation, and we of course got this modal component, this overlay here, which is something you know from a lot of web pages as well. Last but not least, if you add a user successfully, we also reset these inputs here. So that also works. So whilst it's certainly not the most complex application of the world, it is a great project for practicing what we learned thus far. You can absolutely skip this module if you're not interested in that and you just want to continue to the next concepts, to the next things you need to learn about React. But I would recommend that you go through this module to make sure you really understand all those core concepts we worked on over the last modules. And I actually encourage you to go ahead and try this on your own first. You of course don't have to get the exact styling right. Instead, it is about building these React components and adding the general logic I showed you over the last minutes. Of course, this will be challenging, but you will only need concepts and features you learned about. So you can build this, but again, it definitely will be challenging. Nonetheless, definitely give this a try on your own first, but of course thereafter have a look at my course lectures in this section where I show you my approach and my solution, which you can then use to compare your solution.